We're going to continue in Parashat Chayei Sarah, page 121b, Kuf Kaf Aleph Bet. And we were talking about, it was Rabbi Yossi that started, he wants to interpret the verse, Vayu Chayei Sarah, Me'at Shana, and so forth. He wants to interpret the verse that Sarah, her life was 127. And then it says, Ushnei Chayei Sarah. And he says, before I explain this verse, let me first explain a different concept that we saw with the prophet John. She was 127, Sarah. Yeah. So then he goes and he explains a little bit what's going on with Yonah, how Yonah was commanded by Hashem to go and do a certain task, to go to a city called Nineveh, a very large city, and to tell them to do tshuva. Same idea, what we just talked about, right? The whole city was sinning, and Hashem said, you go into that city and into Las Vegas and tell them that I had it up to here, and I'm going to turn the whole city upside down. Okay, the story is known. Jonah runs away, goes to the ocean. We just said it yesterday. Every time that they threw him in the water, the ocean calmed down, and then they pulled him up. The ocean went stormy again. And then we explained how when they threw him into the water, he died. He had a near-death experience. And then he went up to Shamayim and he was judged. And when he was brought back and the fish, the whale ate him, then the fish died too. So this was the introduction that we said yesterday. And then we explained that every night when we go to sleep, that's what happens to us. Our soul leaves the body and goes to the heavenly court, but the heavenly court that belongs to Hashem, not any other heavenly court. And we get judged. We're standing in front of Hashem, and Hashem is judging us for our actions. And Hashem is so merciful and kind that He's judging the bad actions till that moment, but He already knows the good actions that's going to be in the future, and He takes that to consideration to balance it out. And therefore, we were able to wake up in the morning. If not, we would stay up there. If we would be judged on what's going on based on today, then the decree will be you're not waking up. That's it. You don't have the zchut to wake up. And we concluded by saying that when you wake up in the morning and you say Modeh has to be with a lot of excitement and appreciation because the Kadosh Baruch Hu decided to bring you back. So this is what we were talking about yesterday. Now we go back to the same story with Yonah. Let's see why he wants to explain to us about this Yonah and how is it connected to Sarah. So again, page 121b, Chayei Sarah, daf kuf kaf aleph amud bet. V'ata chozer ledvarav la'il. Now he's going back to what he was saying before. Ta chazi, come and see. Kevan de atilu le Yonah beyama. Since they threw Yonah, the prophet, into the ocean, maktiv, what does it say? The ocean calmed down, but listen to the word that it's using. It says miza'apo. That's from its anger. So the ocean calmed down from its anger. Now, ocean, it's inanimate. It has anger. The ocean has feelings. Why are you saying that the ocean calmed down from its anger? If you remember yesterday, just to remind you, we said that the ocean here is a manifestation of the Malchut. The Malchut is also called ocean, and the Nevuah, the Ruach HaKodesh, that Yonah and any other prophet they receive it from the Sphira of Malchut. Each prophet receives his Nevuah from a different Sphira. We explained that yesterday, Malchut to Zeir Anpin, to Bina, to Chochmah. But nevertheless, Yonah got his Nevuah from Malchut. And like I said, different prophets, they get their Nevuah from a different Sphira. Nevertheless, it says here that when they threw Yonah into the ocean calmed down from its anger. Meaning, Hayam Illa'ah, this is referring to the waters above, to the ocean above. Shehu HaMalchut, that it's referring to Malchut. Kivan shegavta chova mi Yonah al shebarach mipanea. The Malchut calmed down. Why? Because it took back the debt, so to say, from Yonah. That Yonah ran away from it. And right away, when the Malchut got its, so to say, its debt, then the din, the judgment, come down. And he explains, "My vayamod." Why does it says vayamod? Yamod means in Hebrew, and it stood up. Why does it say on the ocean vayamod? but also you can say in Hebrew, Vayamod means to stop. But nevertheless, it says that the ocean Vayamod. Okay, what does it mean? The perush is, the mean is the kaim bekiyume kid kayaut. That it stood in a, how would you say it? Amad be'amdo. It just froze, so to say.
Standing like a wall?
Not like a wall, but it's froze and it's standing how it's supposed to be standing. What does that really mean? Ba'amida ihu kad rugza shakich. This is means when, let's say, a person gets very upset and he starts screaming and yelling and punching, and then something calms him down, he stops. He stands. That's what it means, that the Malchut was there was too much dinim, there was a lot of judgment. It manifested into the world as a storm, but once the Malchut received its debt, so to say, from Yonah, then it's calmed down. This is what it means, it stood. Okay? Meaning, זה נחשב עמידה שהכעס והדין נשקט. The anger and the judgment stopped. ואינו יוצא לפעול דין. There was a judgment, and it was calmed down, and it doesn't come into action. Why? כי בשעתא דדינא שריה בעלמא, when the din is judgment, dwells in this world, and we just talked about before a few different things. Now just imagine what's going on in the heavenlies, in the heavenly realm, when 500,000 people are marching in the streets of Yerushalayim in the gay parade. Just imagine what's going on in Shamayim and the judgment that is now falling onto this world. We just now talked about it. We're not going to go into length of what we talked about, but we read last week, which is for us 3 days ago, we read that Hashem had it up to here with Sodom and Gomorrah, and he went down and destroyed it. And he told Avraham Avinu, move away. In the beginning, he wasn't even planning on telling Avraham Avinu what he's about to do. And then he says, what, I'm going to hide this information from Avraham? I have to tell him. So he tells Avraham, and sure enough, Midat HaChesed, Avraham walks in and says, whoa, 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 before you going and bombarding the city, maybe there's 50 tzaddikim there. Hashem says, no chance. Okay, 45, no chance. 40, 35, 30. At some point, Hashem says, listen, just move out of the way. Okay? So, when there's anger in the world above, the judgment, the Midat Adin, comes down into the world. Just imagine, how are we arousing the Midat Adin in Shamayim? I just gave an example with the gay parade. Just imagine with many other things. When bad things are happening in this world, how we treat each other, for example. But nevertheless, it says, B'sha'ata de dina sharia be'alma, the time when the din starts dwelling into the world, hahu be'dina, then the malchut, which is called din, ihu ke'itata de mit'abra ve'kashya le'olada. The malchut, which is the secret, this is the heavenly court. This is where the heavenly court is placed. It's comparing it to a pregnant woman that kneels down and starts a lot of pain. Now, for whatever reason, I don't even know how they got to that. Nowadays, if a woman goes to give birth in a hospital, they put her on a bed and she's lying down on her back. That's the worst position to give birth. I don't even know where they came up with that. For a woman to be on her back, the spine is all squashed. Excuse me for the descriptions, but the legs are up. This is not the way for a woman to give birth. Women have to give birth by kneeling. They squat. Not kneeling, squatting. That's how you give birth. Exactly, the pressure, the cervix, that's how you call it, the cervix, it all widens. So, I don't even know why doctors do that. I really, my wife, Baruch Hashem, is smart. She gives birth at home. She doesn't go to a hospital. She does it herself. And you know what? It's the best way possible. Don't have to rush to a hospital. The hospital, they start giving you all sorts of chemicals and all sorts of junk and germs and all sorts of nonsense, induce, schmindus, and epidural. And I mean, I'm happy. I say in the morning that thank you Hashem for not making me a woman. I say it with all my intention. But nevertheless, it's very easy to say. A lot of women say it's easy for you to say. Let's see you going through that pain. But nevertheless, the point is that going back to our subject, it says that the malchut, that is the secret of the Beit Din, becomes like a pregnant woman that is about to give birth, umaksha beledata, and comes a lot of pain. You know, for the poor woman, with the pain she has to go through. V'chad olidat shechich rugza, and when she gives gives birth and the baby comes out, it's like, I can just imagine the feeling when the baby comes out. What a relief. So, and again, no need to go into too many descriptions, but Baruch Hashem, I have 6 kids. It looks like it's a big relief, like, Baruch Hashem, it's out. But nevertheless, same thing here. The Malchut, it squats, and it's going through some type of a labor process, and it's very, very painful. But once the so to say the baby goes out, nishkat tzara, the suffering stops. Ha'achiname, as the same way, kad dina sharia be'alma, the same way when the judgment is hovering over the world. La shachich velo nach. It doesn't, shachich is like calm down, and nach means that it stops. So the judgment is kind of hovering over the world. It doesn't stop, it doesn't quieten down, till the din hits something. When does midat adin? You can't calm the din down. Din is judgment. If you remember, we talked about it several times, that on Yom Kippur, what do we scream to Hashem? Utfila, utzdaka, utshuva, ma'avirim et ro'a gzera. Repentance, charity, and prayer remove the evil of the decree. In Hebrew, we say ma'avirim et ro'a gzera. Ma'avir is to give over. Why doesn't it say mevatlim et ro'a gzera? They cancel the evil of the decree. Because you can't cancel the din. There's no such a thing. Once there's midat adin, you can't cancel it. So when we say ma'avirim, we push it over. Who do we push over the din to? We push over the din to wicked people. The ones who want to destroy us, the ones who want to kill us, the rashaim.
But it's never actually removed.
It cannot be removed. Once the din is birthed, I will go now and lie, or cheat, or steal, or commit adultery, or do any sin. Right away is birth a din. Right away they file up in Shamayim a prosecution. They file the papers. Midat adin, it's aroused. You can't uproot it, you can't annul it, you can't bribe somebody to say, okay, quieten down. That's it. You gave birth to midat adin. What's the way to get rid of it? Is when you do tshuva and so forth, then it's pushed over. Now what happens here? It says it's the same thing as with midat adin. Midat adin is hovering over the world, and it will not rest and it will not quieten down till it will hit something. It has to hit something. And if we are smart and we do tshuva, then it will go on somebody wicked. And if we not smart, then it will, chas v'shalom, can go on us. So when we do tshuva, we remove this din, and there's enough for it to go. It can be a earthquake in Haiti, or a tsunami in Indonesia, whatever it is. Not that I'm just giving an example. The din goes somewhere else. And there's enough places in the world where Hashem will gladly throw this judgment. So same thing here. Ne'esa hadin barashaim. The judgment goes on the wicked people. Keden hu naicha dile lemekam beduchta shlim ulemekam bekiyume. And then the menucha, the quietening of the din is to stand b'makom shalem, and it's just standing. It doesn't do anything. Saying in other words, shebe'od sheyesh dinim b'malchut, as long as there are dinim in the malchut, אי אפשר לעלות להתייחד עם דודה. It cannot have an elevation to be united with its husband. The malchut is the wife, is the shechina, and the husband is קודשא בריך הוא, the kadosh baruch hu. Why? כי הדינים מחשחשים בקרבה. There's too much dinim. Almost everything that we do, especially on Shabbat, is to sweeten the judgments. Sometimes you can't get rid of the judgments. What's the advice? Sweeten the judgments. So a lot of the actions that we do, for example, Kiddush, when we do Kiddush, looks like a weird ritual. Why are we drinking wine? Because when we do Kiddush, then we're sweetening judgments. And the Zohar explains, maybe one time we should learn about it. Many people, they just hold the cup like that. It's not correct. The way to hold it is to hold the cup like that. Because you make a form of the 5 fingers. This is keneged the 5 dinim. and you are elevating the what's called Maim Nukbin to the world above, and the effect that it does, it's sweetening the dinim. So a lot of the actions that we do it only to sweeten judgments. So as long as there's judgments in the Malchut, there's dinim, then it cannot get elevated and be unified with its husband. As long as the dinim, it says mechashchishim, like this. They like a rattlesnake, making noise.
Ready to strike.
Excuse me? Ready to strike, 100%, yeah. Like a snake. Venomous snakes, most of them, they give you a warning. So rattlesnakes will rattle their tail. A cobra will inflate the neck. Vipers, they go like that. So each snakes, they have a different warning to you.
Some are only visual warning.
Yes.
Moccasins.
Some of them don't even give a... Well, moccasins, they blow up their neck too, by the way. The water moccasins?
I grew up like in an area full of them. You just got to watch your step.
Yeah, they're very deadly, the moccasins. But nevertheless, where were we? Okay, so the Malchut is full of dinim, then it cannot have an elevation and be unified with its husband. Now what happens? It will not quieten down ad shehi poletet hashefa shemekabelet beit hayechud. It will not quieten down till it will, so to say, spit out the abundance, the energy, the shefa that it receives while it has unity. Even though after the Malchut will throw up, so to say, the dinim, the judgment on the ones who deserve it, miyad tahara mimkor dinea, then the Malchut is, so to say, purifies itself. And it's able to get into a state of purity in order to be elevated and to be ready for unity. This is exactly what's going on with a woman while she has her cycle. The blood is the manifestations of the dinim. The woman is a manifestation of Malchut. Then when the woman is not pure, then the blood comes out of the body, then she has to purify herself. And once she's clean, then she can be you can be in unity with her husband. And of course in a kosher way. Needless to say that the impurity from nida, and if chas v'shalom, a man goes on a woman that she's nida, that's one of the worst averot out there. Needless to say, the impurity that it brings on the person. So, we talked a couple times about the impurity of the forbidden relations, which is very connected because when do we read Maftir Yonah? On Mincha of Yom Kippur. This is when we're really reading all the forbidden relations. So sometimes a person can be in one act doing 3-4 kretot, doing 3-4 arayot at the same time. It can be an eshet ish, a woman that belongs to another husband, at the same time can also be nida. She also should be in a time of her cycle, and many others at the same time. But nevertheless, once the woman is pure, she's ready to be with her husband and it's done the right way. This is where this comes from, the same idea with the Malchut. The Malchut is becoming full of dinim, then there can't be any unity. The dinim, the judgment, have to be thrown out. Once the Malchut is so empty, it can be purified, can reach to a level of purity, and then it can get elevated in the right way to have unity with Kudsha Brichu, which is referring to the husband, the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Hada udichtiv, as it says, Uva'avod Reshaim Rina. This is a verse from the book of Mishlei, chapter 11. There's a verse that it says, when the wicked get destroyed, there's joy, there's happiness. I don't know if I'm translating it perfect, but uve'avod, when something is eliminated from the world or destroyed from the world, avadon, it says reshaim rina. When the wicked, they get destroyed from the world, there's a great joy in the world. And we already explained ve'hau ukmina, that when the wicked, they get destroyed from the world, just imagine what a simcha it is in Shamayim when Ahmadinejad will be destroyed. Yesh rina v'simcha lemala. There's a great joy in the world above. That comes to teach us something very special, is just imagine the joy you cause in Shamayim when you do tshuva. Now if I'm now a wicked individual and I steal and I lie and I commit adultery and I do all these bad sins, I'm a wicked person. Then I do tshuva, I get rid of the rasha in me, Can you imagine what's going on in Shamayim? 4th of July in Shamayim. Fireworks, parties. Nevertheless, listen, it's funny, but I'm serious. When we do tshuva, there's an unbelievable simcha in the Shamayim. That's why, if you have the opportunity to make somebody observant, you can't even imagine the simcha for the Kadosh, the joy that the Kadosh Baruch Hu has towards you because you were able to help another person become observant. Now, he asks a question. V'chi ba'avod rashayim rina, when the wicked people get destroyed, there's a happiness. V'hachtiv hechafotz echpotz mot rasha. Why are you telling me such a thing? There is a verse in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 18, and it says, Hashem says, Yechezkel says in the name of Hashem, do you think that I have the desire that the wicked person should die? Kadosh Baruch Hu has the desire for a Rasha to do tshuva. So, somebody not too long ago, I told you yesterday that we posted a video online talking about the time of the redemption, and I quoted there a prophecy from Zechariah that at a later stage in the time of the redemption, there's not going to be such a thing as nations. All the nations will be gathered together and we're all going to be one nation. And I said it in different words. I said we're all going to be Jews. There's not going to be such a thing as Jew when Mashiach comes. It's going to be a nation, the nation of Israel, Am Israel. But at some point, anybody who will remain at the time of the Geulah, you're talking here billions of people, then we're all going to be Jews. This is a prophecy from Zechariah chapter 2 and verse 14-15. Okay?
It says they'll only be Israel.
Yeah.
It's not there another.
It says in that day Hashem will gather all the nations together and make them one nation. Okay? So of course it brought a lot of questions. Where are you bringing this thing that now everybody will be converted? So somebody asked me, whoa, this seems too easy. I mean, you have to read the whole chapter. But unfortunately, I'm sure you all know 1 or 2 or maybe 50 converts, and it's hell for them to convert. You know what it is to convert? They get the kishke out of them till they convert. So this individual, she said, that's not fair. You know what I went through to convert? Now they're just going to get it like that? I said, don't worry. First of all, you have a schar, you worked hard. Lefum tzara agra, you worked very hard to become observant. And so the person told me, but it's bothering me, we're all going to be in the same boat. I said, I don't know if you checked out Kosherika lately. You can get a cabin underneath in the bottom, and you can get a royal suite in the top. So don't worry, the time of the Geulah, we're all in the same boat, but you can be in the royal suite on the top or in the cabin in the bottom. But nevertheless, the point why I'm saying that, because I told a different person in that same matter, we have to have the desire. If I see a wicked person, or somebody does something bad to me, cheats me in business, steals my money, slanders my name, my nature is to say, I wish for that person to suffer. That's our nature. Let's be honest here. Somebody does something bad to me, either openly or not openly, I wish for that person to suffer. And I say sometimes, I wish Hashem will punish that person for what he did. That's a very low level. A higher level is to say, Hashem, please don't punish that person because of me. I forgive that person. I don't want you to punish him. What do we say in Kriyat Shema before we go to sleep?
Please wake him up.
Excuse me?
We could say, please wake him up.
Of course. But on Kriyat Shema Lamita, specifically in the Nosach of the Ari, says, Hareni mochel lechol mi shechi'is oti. I hereby forgive any person that made me angry. Ben begufi, ben bemamoni, with my body, my might, my money, in this incarnation, in a different incarnation. So the right way is to say, Hashem, please don't hurt that person because of me. So I forgive him. This is a much higher level. So we should desire for a person to do tshuva. Why? Because that's what Hashem wants. Hashem wants everybody to do tshuva. Hashem doesn't have the desire to kill the Rashaim. He says, I wish for them to do tshuva. So now he's asking him, how are you telling me when the wicked person, they get destroyed from the world, there's great joy in Shamayim, when there is a verse in Yechezkel that says, you think I have a desire to kill a wicked person? It doesn't sound well. That we know that the Kadosh Baruch Hu, there's no he doesn't quiet down, there's no nachat in front of the Kadosh Baruch Hu, kad it'avid dina berashaya, till there's the din done the right way in a wicked person. Ela chafetz b'tshuvatam. Kadosh Baruch Hu doesn't sleep well at night when he knows that his kids are wicked and they're doing bad things. And he says, I want them to do tshuva. Ela kan kodem deishtalim kista, but that the Kadosh Baruch Hu is when the Kadosh Baruch Hu doesn't he doesn't have nachat when the Rasha is destroyed till the person does tshuva. If the person does tshuva, then the Kadosh Baruch Hu gets his nachat. But if chas v'shalom the person will not do tshuva, then the Kadosh Baruch Hu doesn't have nachat till the person changes. Somebody told me not too long ago that the individual that was telling me that told me that her brother, we were talking about drug abuse. We were talking about how in the observant communities, in the teenagers, there's so much drug abuse. And I'm not talking about, just marijuana. I'm talking about serious drugs, heroin, cocaine, crack. I mean, this is in the youth, in religious communities. So we were talking about drug abuse. So this individual told me, I know, my brother died when he was very young from overdose. Whatever he was, 23, 24. And we were in a conversation, and then she said that her mother said, I'm actually happy it's over. Because every night I didn't know what's going to be next. Where am I going to find him next? What is he going to do next? Because a drug addict usually is not sitting and learning in university. He steals, he robs, he does all sorts of bad things. And she said, finally it's over. It's over. So for many years she didn't have any nachat, no rest. Why? Because the child is out there, Hashem Erachem, what he's doing. Once the son was under the ground, she says, I'm sad, but at least it's over. I'm calm now. This is a perfect example. The Kadosh Baruch Hu doesn't have nachat when he sees us running around. Till we do tshuva. And you think he wants to destroy us? He says, please do tshuva. I'll give you another opportunity. Another opportunity. No, get your act together. But once it reaches a certain line, and then, of course, the story has to end. Then the Kadosh Baruch Hu has his nachat. That's why there's simcha in Shemaim. Kan levatar d'ishtalim kista. But after that the judgment was already done, the Malchut has joy and meshoreret b'mapalat harashaim, because each and every one of us, how many opportunities did you get before you did tshuva? 1,000 times. And probably another 1,000 times we're going to get opportunities. The Kadosh Baruch Hu erech hapayim. He has a lot of patience with us. But at some point the patience runs out. So each and every one of us, what do we get? 1,000, 2,000, 3 times 1,000 opportunities to do tshuva, and finally we get our act together. If a Kadosh Baruch Hu doesn't knock on the door, some people go there all throughout their life. We are lucky, we got a knock on the door. How many times did you hear that knock? 5,000 times? I heard the knock a long time. Hello? Wake up. Stop doing what you're doing. So if chas v'shalom a person doesn't do tshuva, at some point the Kadosh Baruch Hu is running out of patience. This is how we started the class. That the Kadosh Baruch Hu is already showing us, I have a lot of patience, but it's going to run out at some point. Don't trust the fact that I will be so patient for so long. Because at some point it will snap. And we don't want to get to that point when it snaps. So, Bezrat Hashem, we're going to finish here. The next part, tomorrow, Bezrat Hashem, we'll already see how he's connecting it to Chayei Sarah, why he gave this all preparation, how is that connected to Sarah and her life and so forth, and what do we got to take from that. But nevertheless, what we need to take from that physically, spiritually, emotionally, is to understand that the Kadosh Baruch Hu has a lot of patience with us, but still we can't say, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. And say, I'll do it today. And especially now that the coming of Mashiach is so imminent, it's so around the corner, there's no time to say, I'll do it tomorrow. The Mishnah says, Al tomar she'efne shema lo tifne. Don't say I'm going to sit down and learn when I'm going to reach to that point. You might not reach to that point. Of course, it's a different translation because the Mishnah says she'efne, but never, when I have time. But the Mishnah says, don't say I'll sit down and learn when I have time. you might never have time. Sit and learn right now. But this is referring to anything. How many people says sometimes you have some type of a disagreement with somebody and you keep seeing that person in the street, and then in the back of your mind you say one day we'll probably patch it up, but now I'm upset. So don't carry it out, because you don't know where the line ends. You have the opportunity, you do something today. You have the opportunity to do tshuva, you do it today. You have the opportunity to apologize to somebody, it's today. Don't wait till it's the right moment. How many times you hear that? It's not the right moment. It's never a right moment. To do tshuva, you do it when you get the opportunity. As long as our eyes opened up in the morning, why do we say Kriyat Shema L'Amita at night? Because we do tshuva. Now if you're smart, when you wake up in the morning and you open your eyes, you're saying, okay, yesterday I did tshuva, now do it. Yesterday I remembered that I have to apologize to him and I owe him money, and I promised to do something and he didn't do it, now do it. To say, how do they say? Talk is cheap. Now talk the talk, but let's see you walk the walk. So tshuva is our power. The Kadosh Baruch Hu is willing to give everything away, just do tshuva. Just do tshuva. And once you do tshuva, the deen, it comes down. Kadosh Baruch Hu will calm everything down. And needless to say that's how we cause the ultimate happiness in Shamayim. So, Bezrat Hashem, we have to apply it into our life, not to just talk it, not to just see it in theory, just to know that the Kadosh Baruch Hu, I don't know right now what's my situation. I'm actually afraid to find out. If I would run a report right now, what does Hashem think of me? Can you imagine you get a survey? Hashem, what do you think of me from 1 to 10? 10 is very satisfied and 1 is not so satisfied. You know all those surveys? What would Hashem fill up on me? Do you wake up 3 times, you go 3 times in the day for a minyan? Hashem might say, not so satisfied. How is your intention when you're saying brachot? Hashem will say, not so satisfied. Yes, you know, the very satisfied is a smiley and the not so satisfied is a frowning face. Imagine Chas v'Shalom, I would have to give a survey to Hashem. How would I come out? I don't know, maybe I get a lot of thumbs down. I'm afraid to even ask. So people think, oh, no, I'm good. Look, I have a beard, I have a yarmulke, I was in shul today, Hashem loves me. Yeah, but who told you that? Who told you that Hashem didn't ignore the fact that you lie and cheat and commit adultery and steal or cheat in business or whatever it is? So we can't live in everything will be fine. So we have to really learn what it means, Yirat Shamayim. Yirat Shamayim is that I understand, wait a minute, I don't know where I'm holding. Maybe if I will run a report right now, it will have a thumbs down. So we want to get our act together. Kadosh Baruch Hu is knocking on the door a lot. We just saw 2 days ago the Kadosh Baruch Hu sent us a big alarm clock when 11 people were murdered in a synagogue. If that's not a wake-up call, and waking up people, I'm sorry to tell you, then there's going to be more wake-up calls. And there's probably will be a lot more wake-up calls till we get our act together. So better to get our act together fast, to start spreading in the world Torah and unity and love and achdut and stop being so judgmental and jealous and all these things. And we got to bring the redemption in chesed v'rachamim. As we say 3 times a day, and Bezrat Hashem will say in 5 minutes, v'techezena einenu b'shuvcha leTzion berachamim, that we should see the return to Hashem, to Zion, to Yerushalayim, with mercy, not with suffering, chas v'shalom. רבי חנניה בן הקשיא אומר, רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לזכות את ישראל, לפיכך הרבה להם תורה ומצוות, שנאמר, אדוני חפץ למען צדקו, יגדיל תורה ויאדיר.